Welcome to the Date Forever podcast. Keep your relationship fueled up with strategies discovered by couples and experts. Because at Fuel Collective, we believe better relationships will equal a better world. You are about to discover specific insights and tools that cost little or nothing to implement to help you date forever. And now, here are your hosts, a couple who always have a half-packed suitcase and a date night in the calendar, Sammy and Nathan Yeager.
Welcome to the Date Forever podcast, everyone. Today we've got Scott James Andrew joining us. He's a peak performance business and life coach and the founder of the Confident Leader Academy. His 12-month flagship mastermind brings a refreshing, holistic approach of science, psychology, and spirituality coupled with powerful step-by-step systems and strategies to help married men in business grow their income and their freedom without sacrificing their health, happiness, and relationship using his Confident Leader method. Welcome to the show, Scotty.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, super stoked to have you here. Tell us, what do you do with your clients? Because you create magic.
We need a longer podcast. But, I was just discussing that with somebody the other day because we were talking about sales and we were just talking about it can be challenging sometimes to articulate when you do, a lot of different things. So that's why I call myself a peak performance coach. I work with men who are usually around the six-figure to multi-six-figure mark. Sometimes I have guys that are new early stage or even guys who are doing, more than that. But the main thing is just really number one is getting them out of their head and into their heart. So into their gut, getting them to literally break through all of the noise. And I just jumped off an academy call with my guys before. And that was one of the main things. I get them to do a takeaway at the end of the call. And that was one of the big takeaways. It's just there's a million things I can teach you around, hacking your biology and doing stuff in your relationship and having all these different rituals. But at the end of the day, if you just did the one thing, if you got nothing else out of this program, that would be the one thing, is getting people out of their head into their heart so they can make decisions from that place as well as get guidance. But obviously there's super, like I said in the bio, there's a lot of science and systems and strategies that kind of set up, but probably
out of head and into heart.
Yeah, which is relevant for relationships too, because a lot of times when we're busy as entrepreneurs or people who are not business owners, you're working your day to day and everything's busy. You come home and it's how was your day good? How was your day good? And it's that can get quite transactional.
Flatline.
Yeah. Get transactional. When you speak from your heart, and I just did with one of my clients, was just speaking to him, and I said one of the things, his intention for the week was to show up more in his relationship. And I said, well, what does that look like? And he's like, well, to be more present. Well, what does that look like? Well, I don't know. I said, well, you're not going to achieve something you don't know, what it is. So, I get them to close their eyes, take a deep breath in and go into their heart and ask themselves. And as soon as he tried to do that, his head said, I don't know how. It's too hard. I'm not sure. And so we kind of get that out of the way. And then instantly he's got a million different ideas of the little things he can do. And he had all these big things. And what was actually stopping him from doing that was the fact that he was already tired and he felt like he had to be this big leader for his partnership, when really the thing that he thought she would love the most is him to buy her a scratchy. That's what I'm saying. Your head will tell you a million things. I've got to do this to be a man, Merrily. I've got to do this if I, want to have a thrive. It's sometimes it's just the smallest little thing.
And that's pretty interesting too, because I guess you're working with people who are pretty successful in their businesses and are kind of kicking big goals in that area. But then, when you kind of bring it back to relationships and some of the more softer, squishier side of people, people just quite often don't know what to do.
Well, and that's the whole point of the program, is to really teach people how to become a leader for themselves, for their relationship and for their life. So there's kind of 4 areas that I, help build. I call it's the foundation. If you try to build your life, could be for the listeners, building their relationship, or could and encompass that. It's really why do we want to have relationships? For your life as well, to have a great life, feel love, connection. But it's it could be career, but if people don't have businesses, but it's like business, mindset, health, and relationships. And when you build up just rituals in those areas, you create the foundation so that no matter what else happens, and then from that you can kind of build this building, which is your life. Whereas if you don't have the rituals, the bedrock for these things, I'm sure you guys are the experts at that. But if you don't have
I don't know about experts, but we try.
Even if you guys aren't conscious that you have rituals, I'm sure there's things that you love to do. Whereas most people, especially the busier and more high achieving that people get, the more that they tend to be focused on goal orientated things. And I ask someone like, okay, so you've got your goal this year is to do 2 million in your business. Well, what's your goal in your relationship? Because a lot of guys, I've got guys who've come out of divorce, and I've got guys that are also going into it, and guys that in their late 20s, early 30s, even up into 40s. And it's like, if your goal really is to grow your business and make this money and have this great life for your family, but by the time you get there, you've lost them. It's like,
what's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point? And so for early people in early relationships, you're setting out those foundations early to thrive, essentially.
Yeah. There's this incredible, really long study done by Harvard where they followed a group of Harvard grads and also just some everyday dudes it's now been running for like just over 70 years. And the greatest indicator to quality of life has been the quality of their relationships.
100%. Yeah.
So let's take this right back, Scotty. What is a ritual? Give us an example.
So a ritual is just something that you've consciously set up as a practice that's in alignment with the goals and the values that you have. So, for instance, I have my clients do rituals. They've got business rituals, which should be like Monday's planning. Yeah, they've got mindset rituals, which is like their morning practice of meditation and cold showers and different things. And they've got health rituals, which is like exercise. And these are just, and then relationship rituals, the stuff that I tell them to do or guide them to do is I'll give them a list of things like, for instance, my partner and I've got a fun story to share, but we would take a bath together once a week. We would go for walks. We lived by the beach in Melbourne, and we've got two toy poodles. We take the dogs to the beach and take a walk. And so, what else? Maybe having dinner instead of on the couch. Maybe it's on the dinner table. Like just simple stuff. But I found the busier that people get, the less rituals they have. And the rituals are there that you've made a conscious decision that this is prioritized. And I actually heard you guys speak about that, I think, in something that you sent me. And I think that's super important. If you're a woman or if you're a man and you don't feel prioritized in your relationship, well, you don't feel important. You don't feel desired. You don't feel these types of things. So when you've got a ritual set up there, it's like, as busy as I get, and I literally in launching my the new section of my business, like I had like a few of these little rituals had kind of
fallen away
for a couple of weeks. And my partner walked into my office right here like a few weeks ago, and she walked in, she said, "We got to talk." And I was like, I thought we were good. My heart dropped into my chest. Yeah. We had the perfect relationship. And it just turned out that like she was just feeling less important, less prioritized. And then we realized after having a conscious conversation, oh, you know what? Thursday walks weren't happening. You know what? We haven't had a bath for 3 weeks. We did it, boom, straight back to where we were, feeling amazing. Relationship's fantastic. And it just made us stronger because it's just grounded in those rituals.
And I think like early on in a relationship, like people don't want to have like structure and stuff around their relationship, and they're like, you lose a lot of the spark and a lot of the like spontaneity and stuff out of that. But I think like a lot of those rituals do really set up a great relationship and allow it to have that longevity rather than it just kind of fizzling out and going to nothing.
Yeah, I think it's relevant to definitely the stage of the relationship. Like, if for your listeners, as you said before, if you're kind of like in a 1 to 3 year style relationship, then, you're not like a 20-year married couple. You probably don't need to have intimacy rituals per se. That would definitely might put like a bit of this is a bit rigid, but like you choose the rituals that suit for you. So you don't have to for them,
our intimacy ritual is one of my favorites.
but for me, like that's great, you know, and it's relevant too. So like, for instance, I generally say 1 to 3 rituals a week is great. Like even if you have a ritual, if you're someone who's like late 20s, early 30s, and you're like a young couple and you're having fun, maybe one of your rituals is just to go on a date or go out for dinner each week, or maybe it doesn't have to, it can be fun, and it doesn't have to be like a set time at a set day. You make it work for you. Like Alice and I, because we're both coaches, we both have busy businesses, and we're both in the growth phase of our businesses. We have them, and when we don't have them, it impacts us. But I know when we were just starting out, we didn't, but we did. If I reflect, we hadn't organized it, but we actually did. Every single week we were either going out for either dinner or brunch. Or, you know, like, so it could just be anything that creates that, you know,
moment of connection. Hey, so I want to circle back.
That's exactly the thing. You are making sure that you do not miss moments of connection, even when you're busy.
Yeah. Hey, I want to come back to this, but I'm going to take this opportunity to ask you a little bit about your own relationship. Give us the highlights, or where did you meet? Where are you at now?
So it's actually a very fun and exciting story. So I had actually just broken up with my fiance of 5 years, a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. And in that relationship, it was a beautiful, I call it conscious uncoupling, where, you know, that was just great. But I kept getting in my heart that someone else is out there for you. Long story short, I went on, you know, the apps like everybody does. I was on Bumble, and I was also working with a relationship coach because I thought I want to, you know, attract my dream partner, not just end up with somebody like I kind of had in the past. Not to diminish the connections and relationships that I made, but I realized there was a pattern here and I needed to upskill in some things. And so long story short, Bumble spoke, I think, once, and then, you know, on Bumble, the girls have the power. So I don't think she wrote back. And then one day I was just sitting on the couch thinking, why not just, or maybe she'd said one thing, why not just go back and message someone again? I did, and we ended up having a date, and then, I just ended up, obviously, I was working with a relationship coach, and we were discussing, like, we need to date.
Your strategies.
It was more like understanding who would be a person. I said, look, I like sweet girls, but also like really, you know, confident and this. And it was like, we're just building that. But all this happened right across from where she lived. I was working, we just met at this random cafe, and it was across the road from where Ellis, my partner now, was living. And this is before I'd even met her. So it was like all these little funny things. After we were dating for like a few weeks, I had to get it, or months or something, I had to get into her computer for something. I said, hey, what's your password? And my name's Scott James Andrews. This was my full name, SJA. And her password, I said, so what's your password? She goes, S. I said, yeah, J, and I'm typing the computer, and I'm like, yeah, that's weird. And A, and I'm like, geez, we've been dating for 2 months. She's already using my initial password. That's weird. And I called her out on it. I'm like, oh gosh, what have I got, a stage 5 clinger here or something? And she said, oh, actually, I've had that password for like the last 15 years since I've just made it up in her head. So just super, super weird.
So she's had to change it because you've told everyone.
Yeah, she's already changed it. Yeah. I didn't change it. But yeah, just one of those things where I had just come out of a fresh relationship of 5 years, and literally, like, that was the last thing that I wanted to get into another relationship straight away. But my heart just kept saying, just even though I felt scared, it was just like, just the next, like, just kind of, just see where this thing goes. And it was just kind of the next level. But really quickly, you know, I remember writing in my journal, like, it was scary how much that I didn't want to fall in love with her, but it was, and then since then, I mean, we moved in together after 6 months, and now we're living together. We've got 2 dogs, and we've just
2 dogs, 2 businesses,
2 dogs, 2 businesses, and talking about other types of family style things, you know, in the next 12 months, and I can just feel that this relationship, even though it is only been 18 months, it's just different, like really different. So we'll just have a lot of fun together, a lot of laughs, and even when we argue, it's fun. Like not argue, pick at each other and do different things. Like it's just enjoyable.
So you mentioned a couple of the rituals that you've created together, which sound awesome. We've got a dog too. We've got a lemon beagle, and we've got some rituals around here, his behavior as well. But I want to know, like, if a couple's listening and they're like, oh, actually, we don't really do anything intentionally to, create those moments of connection. Where do you go about starting to consciously create them?
Well, I think it's just trying new things, because for me, the last time I had a bath was like when I was 5. So when my partner came along and she's very spiritual and whatever, like I was thinking, I have so many of my own personal rituals now that I do by myself that I got from her. So naturally, when you meet someone or you've been dating for a while, like it's super easy just you're you and they're them, and then you're dating together. But I would just say, like, being open to really connect with your partner on a deeper level and understand what their interests are in different things. Like, even I've done personality. Alice and I were on our first date because we're both coaches. She said, "What's your love language? What's your love language?" And I said, mine's touch, and she said, "Oh, mine's touch." So it was super easy from the get-go. But not everyone's a coach, right? But choosing things like, the book, the 5 love languages, to find out what your partner's love language is. That's super powerful to go, maybe we can build some rituals around this. Or it could be more explorative. Is that a word?
Sure.
And sure, it is now. And like, I think, as I was saying about the bath thing, it was more so her wanting to have a bath with me, and me going, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And then just doing it. Actually, this is actually not bad. And then doing it again, and then doing it, and then us going, oh, actually.
Physical touch, get wrapped in each other's bodies. Yeah. Amazing.
All of that stuff. And for me,
total presence.
Grounding, you've got connection, you've got things that sometimes can lead to other nice things. So we now, once or even twice a week, we'll watch, I'll get my iPad out, we'll watch a movie in the bar.
Yeah.
For me, 12 months ago, or 18 months ago, I hadn't had a bath since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So like, and same thing with the dogs or with restaurants or whatever. Just whatever's fun. What do you enjoy doing in your relationship? And then when you notice yourself not doing it, do you miss it? Does it impact you? Have you noticed a connection that there is less connection? And when you do, like with Alice coming in going, hey, we need to talk. It's like, oh crap, we did a little discovery. Oh, actually, what's changed? Oh, we weren't doing
things.
Some people's relationships don't, go through the normal ebbs and waves, but they don't realize why. They don't know what they were doing before. They might have had unconscious rituals.
Yeah, in our fuel collective world, we kind of talk about that in context of like, you stopped adding fuel and the tank is getting empty, and then all of a sudden it's not running. It's not running as smoothly as it should.
So you're just taking and you're not refilling.
Yeah, you gotta add more fuel.
Yeah. So what does?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So what does happen when we let some of those rituals slip, and when we're not quite so conscious about them, or that we
Well, I think polarity obviously plays a role. Like, I think men and women have different needs, obviously. And we talked about love language before. If you're not feeling like your needs are met, then naturally that creates less connection. And then when there's less connection, we start to maybe have a less space for what the other person's going through with and things like that. So I just think, like, when you're doing your rituals, like what I think Sammy said perfectly, is you're actually creating an opportunity for you to connect. Because otherwise, like, it's more like, maybe not in the first 12 months, but 1 to 3 years, you're starting to get that phase where you spend a lot of time with this person now. And it's like, if it just becomes transactional, if you just do the same things every single day and having the same conversations, you go to work and do the same things, and it's just the same. It's like, you don't have to have the ritual doesn't have to be something that's the same. Like a ritual you could have is literally to come up with one new exciting thing you'll do each week together. Like that could be a ritual.
Yeah.
A ritual you could have is when one of you does some great thing at work in your business, that you go out to dinner and you celebrate. Like that could be a ritual. It doesn't have to be like I think what you said, Nathan, before, where you're like, where some people could think of being some like boring, structured, we have to do this thing then. Like you make it suit your own personality. But I can just share from my experience when I've seen my clients and myself not follow the rituals, that naturally connection's lost, intimacy is less, and just overall happiness in the relationship and within your own self. If you're feeling like, I don't know about you guys, but if my partner's desiring me and wanting to touch me and be close to me and love me in a way that is feels safe for me, not overbearing, then like that makes me feel fantastic as a man. And then when I feel fantastic as a man, what do I do in my business? I've got more potency. I feel like, my relationship's rock solid. I'm going to go here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Whereas, when it's not, it's distracting.
Yeah. There's two things I want to add here. We had a couple on the show who talked about the certainty that they had created in their relationship through things like this, through their rituals and habits and behaviors, where they felt really secure and they knew that they were good, and that gave them both a much greater tolerance for uncertainty and variety in their bigger world. So it's an amazing gift that you can give to each other if you can create that really certain, rock solid, we're good kind of relationship. And the other thing that I wanted to touch on was we've got some habits and some rituals that we've picked up along our, over a decade of relationship together now. And some of them are so funny. Like they don't make sense to anybody else. But
Come on.
So we had, for a little while, we were Airbnb-ing out our place, and we had this couple stay with us, and they were really, they were young, like they were maybe 20. And they didn't speak very much English
I think
at
they were
all.
Taiwanese or something.
Yeah.
They didn't speak much English at all.
But we were eating meals together, and they did this really beautiful thing where anytime they would open a beverage, any kind, they would actively look at each other in the eyes and do a cheers and chink glasses. And we've stolen it. It's now ours.
See, that's fun too. Even that, it's your little thing.
But it was a real conscious,
it's a very conscious eye to eye. I see you. I'm here with you. This is really amazing. And now we do it with cups of water and tea.
It's like if I grew up Christian. It's like you say grace before the meal. It's like you're looking in the eyes. It's just a habit attachment to the can opening. I love it.
Yeah.
And we call each other out whenever we cheers and we don't do it. We're like,
hey, hold on, where were you?
Wait a second, let's do this.
And that creates a playfulness as well.
It does.
Yeah, but then there's others that we picked up, like I'm a big Queer Eye fan, and there's one of the guys, Karamo, like he's the, like.
Which one's he?
The culture guy. He's the black guy. Yeah, and he's got, like, when the person that they're working with has a really big breakthrough, they do this really cool hand slap shake thing.
Oh yeah, like one of those American ones, bop, 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 and diddle.
Yeah. So now we've stolen it, and that's ours as well. But then we have some much more structured rituals as well. Like we do have, actually, I'll let you handle it because you love this one.
Yeah,
I have a full confession to make, just adding on to the Queer Eye.
Yeah.
That Alice and I are been like devoted to watching Gossip Girl at the moment. And it's one of those shows again where, she's kind of said, hey, it's my turn. I want to watch this. And I'm like, oh, do we really? And then I'm like, oh, what's going on here? Are we watching Gossip? Are we doing a ritual tonight? Like it can even just be your favorite show. Like it doesn't even have to be a long-term ritual. It could be like a little mini short-term one, like your favorite TV show together. Anyways,
our routine goes out the window when it's Bachelor season. So,
but funnily enough, like I think one of our very first rituals within our relationship was watching Scrubs together. it'd be on free-to-air TV on a Tuesday night or something, like real late at night, 11 p.m. or something. And it was kind of the only time that because we were working hospitality and all sorts of weird hours and things like that. And so it was just that one opportunity that we could both come together, sit on the couch. Well, normally one of us would sit on the couch, the other one would be on the floor getting a massage, and we would swap over while we were watching Scrubs. And that was kind of that.
Yeah, that was one of our very first.
One of our very first romantic rituals, but we didn't know the languaging behind it at that time. We just kind of knew that it was something we liked doing.
I think that's what I was saying before. Is that they tend to happen organically. Like for me, the only reason why I started to say this stuff, the rituals, is literally because I was creating the content for my program. And I was thinking, okay, I know so many different, because I basically spent, like, after I broke up with my ex, I spent like 18 months just devoted to learning about masculine, feminine, learning about polarity, learning about all these different things. And I'm like, then when I was with Ellis and I was reflecting back on our relationship, I was creating this content, I was like, you know what? I've already created mindset rituals, already created health rituals. How cool would it be if I actually did business? And that way it's just got that kind of continuity. It's like, it's all about building those rituals. But same thing as you guys, like I didn't know I was doing rituals before. It was just like, these were just things that we enjoyed. And because we enjoyed them, we wanted to do them more. Because we wanted to do them more, they just became repetitive. And now we're just labeling them rituals on the show type thing.
Yeah. No, but they do those little micro rituals, like you mentioned before, where you eat dinner, like that then sets the tone for the overall culture of your relationship. There's even those basic kind of things, like, do you have breakfast together? Do you do evening meals together? Or are you a food prep family where you're not running the same schedules and you don't actually eat together? Like, there are those rituals where all of a sudden things that become your cultural norms for your relationship. Is the TV on? Is the TV not on? Do we have music on? What kind of music? All of that stuff really does set the tone. Who cooks, who cleans up, like those become cultural norms within your relationship, and they're things that you don't have to continually negotiate because you both know the rules.
Yeah, and I was just even thinking while you're saying that, like, I think if I was I was thinking about like the listeners, and I was even thinking like back when I was in some more unhealthy relationships, I was thinking like it's so easy to get into unhealthy rituals too, like eating junk on the couch and, all those types of things that actually don't fuel your. Sometimes it's great to have some ice cream with your partner on the couch and watch things, but then if you're tired and you have a bad sleep and you get up and then it impacts your energy, then it has negative impacts on your relationship. So I don't know why it just came to me then.
Yeah. So I think we've also had that in our relationship too, where at certain times you'll sit on opposite ends of the couch, both on your own phones, when you actually were trying 100%. To be doing, but when you were trying to be connecting over a TV show or something else, that we were there trying to be present, and yet we're sitting opposite of each other doing our own
somewhere
thing
else.
And actually not
embracing
that ritual. Yeah.
Hey, so we know you've got a bit of a fancy yet simple tool to take a little temperature check of a relationship.
Yes.
Would you like to run it on us?
I would. Normally these, I would. It is quite fun, and I've actually done this. I do this with my partner now. I did my ex, and you can do it, and it's not just it's for any relationship. It's actually for anything at all. So normally where you'll notice that it will be much more impactful is in areas that people don't have. It'll make more sense when we do it, but where people really are maybe struggling per se. But basically, do you want me to run you through how it works?
Where the relationship is not thriving.
By the way, I don't know if I made this up or whether I heard it somewhere, but I'm going to say I made it up.
Yeah, it's the Scotty Spice. It says,
very, very simple, but you have to do it quickly. That's how it works. Because what we're trying to do here is you're trying to, anytime you think about something, like if I say this is from your head or from your heart, right? If you think about something, if you think about it, if you measure it, if you look up, if you say, I just think this, if you calculate it, any of those things, then you'll be thinking, right? If you say, I feel, I know, or if you just kind of it's going to be more like coming from a place of truth. So what it is, you just simply think of whatever the thing is that you want to check your relationship with. So it could be a relationship with health, or it could be a relationship with your brother or sister or your mum. In this case, we can maybe try it with you guys, or we can do it with somebody else, but we'll do it with you guys. So all you want to do is you just literally want to think of the person, say the first 3 things that come to your mind, and then I'll tell you the rest after that. So without thinking about what you want, what the point of this, how it works, is you can't think of what you think you should be saying. And you can't think, you're not allowed to just, you literally have to just trust yourself, just word vomit, blah, 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 blah. So like if I was going to say, just use some example and say, I'll do it for something that's not a person, just health, fitness, fun, exercise. I didn't think about that, right? So that means I've got a positive relationship with that thing. Normally what I'll find is that somebody who has a relationship that maybe needs some work is someone who when I was doing also health coaching, they would say, rabbit food, too hard, and
sweaty mess.
And sweat. And so naturally, if their relationship, that's the filter of which they're looking through, the lens of which they're looking through that thing. If I don't reduce that emotional charge in that thing, or we don't do it together, then there's no amount of strategy that I can create for them that's going to make a difference, because they're going to protect themselves from taking action, because that's their belief system around that thing. Does that make sense? So who wants to go first?
Sure. Why not?
and by the way, for the sake of this exercise, don't try to do it perfectly. Don't try to do it well.
Rough and ready.
Whatever comes up, rough and ready. Okay. That's another ritual, is it?
Sometimes.
So all I want you to do is just I'm just going to say, okay, Sammy, and then you're just going to go bang, 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 3 words.
Yep.
When it comes to that. Okay. So Sammy, go.
Fun, sexy, exciting.
Perfect. Great. 3 words. Sammy, you.
Yep.
Nathan.
Awesome, intelligent, loyal.
Beautiful. So that would show that you guys have a positive relationship. Now, that's an easy one, right? But if you guys could humor me for a moment to show the listeners maybe what it might look like. If you're open to, it could be a person, or it could be something that you would love to shift your relationship with that thing. So it could be around money. It could be around health. It could be a cousin or a person at work. Is there somebody that you could tune in right now if you're going, oh, crap, I don't want to tell them this one. Choose one that you feel open to share on this platform.
Yeah.
Your thing or a person. Has one of you got something?
Well, yeah, I'll do my my relationship with exercise and my routine around exercise has been really challenging this year.
Beautiful. So do the exact same thing. So if I say exercise, just from the heart, just bang, bang, bang. What are the first 3 things come to mind? Exercise.
Frustrated, annoyed, and stuck.
Yeah. So, and that's going to show you exactly like what's going to happen. So just a real quick rundown, like in terms of like behavior, if you 5 to 15% of our actions and behaviors are from our conscious, and 85 to 90 from a subconscious. So you just showed what was in your subconscious. That's your belief system in relationship with that. So if anyone's listening to this and they're trying to make it relative to their relationship, they can just literally sit there do it with their partner, or they could, if they want to do it privately with themselves, they can just think of their partner, Jane, Steve, Bo, whatever you want to say, and just say the first things come to their mind. And we don't want to then judge ourselves and guilt ourselves for this. It's just a temperature check. Yeah. You're just checking in. Now, if you have one, if it's all 3 good, then you're solid. If 2 are, say, negative or disempowering and 1's positive, then you've got a little bit of work to do. If all 3, then like with 2, you can still move forwards, but it'll be slowly.
Yeah. Yep.
And you won't have that sense of strength. With 3 that are, say, negatively charged, okay, then you'll be stuck, basically. You won't move. And so in a relationship, what that means is you'll have 0 polarity. You'll probably actually be thinking of the person through a negative lens, and you'll feel threatened by them. So you'll start to notice that you're judging them more, that you're agitated by them more. Everything they do and say is just annoying and frustrating. When it's 2, it's like, yeah, it's okay, I can deal with it, but It's not great. So if you think about health, so what were they? Frustrated, exercise?
Yeah, annoyed, frustrated, and stuck.
All right, so close your eyes.
All right, they're closed.
So take a deep breath into your nose. Hold your breath at the top. Hold it, and then breathe out and follow the breath out of your mouth, nice and slow. Just follow it out. Do it again, nice, slow. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds hold, and then 5 seconds out. And just follow the breath like it's a nice, relaxing, flow of water or breath or whatever. And focus, really imagine when you're blowing out almost like a nice clear, like on a cold morning or something like that. Or you're hopping out of a nice hot spa at the hot spring somewhere and you see that kind of air come out of your mouth. Like picture it. Beautiful. Notice that you start to feel more relaxed each breath that you take. Your shoulders probably feel lighter. Your head feels clearer. And just settle into this moment. And as you do so, I want you to think back to a time in your life where you loved exercising. Where you were surprised how much you enjoyed it. You had a really positive relationship with it. Maybe there was a time in your life, you might have never had a positive relationship, but maybe there was a moment in your life in your past where you enjoyed exercise. Was there a time in your life where you enjoyed exercise?
Yeah.
Keep your eyes closed.
And a lot. Oh.
Keep your eyes closed. So you enjoyed exercise?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. So picture that in your mind. Picture a specific moment, a memory in your life where you remember thinking to yourself or feeling how much you enjoyed exercise. Think about, was it a specific type of exercise? Dance? Was it running? Was it gym? What was it?
I was a member of a really big club which had all the things, and I had been had all the things.
To have all the things.
Yeah, and I had done a Les Mills group fitness class, and then I had gone on to the weights floor and done some weights, and then I'd been for a swim, then I'd sat in the hot tub, and then I'd gone to the sauna. So it was like a really amazing session. Imagine
you're there now. Relive that beautiful, beautiful moment that you had and be grateful for that moment and feel it in your body as if you were there. Imagine you could literally travel back in time. You're doing it right now. You're picturing it. It doesn't have to be perfectly clear, but think what you thought, see what you saw, and feel how you felt. Feel that vibration in your body, that energy. What was you thinking? Maybe you're feeling confident. Maybe you're feeling strong. Maybe you're feeling powerful. Feel all of those emotions in your body now and feel that it feels good to feel those, doesn't it? Feels good to feel that. What's another memory in your life where you remember really enjoying or you could be grateful for? Was it something you achieved? Was it a moment where you just felt this bliss of just like, or a rush? What was it? Where were you? What was another?
Yeah, it was while I was training for the City to Bay, and I was, still a few weeks out from the race, but I ran my first 12K kind of by accident. Because I'd got to like 8 or 9 or 10, and I was like, no, I still feel really good. I'm going to keep going. And I did.
What were you thinking?
First time I'd ever done it.
You said that. You said, I'm just going to keep going. What was it you said in your mind to keep going?
I feel good. I feel good. I've got this.
So feel that in your body now. You're there. You're running the City to Surf. You trained for it. You doubted yourself, but you came through. You didn't know if you could do it, but then on the day you said to yourself, I can do this. I've got this. I feel good. Feel that. Relive that moment. Relive that beautiful, beautiful moment. Don't stop yourself from smiling. I saw that. Busted. I want to keep enjoying it.
I'm going to start sweating because I'm still in the sauna as well.
Just enjoy that beautiful moment. Imagine yourself running up that City to Surf is in Sydney, isn't it? Yeah.
This one was Adelaide.
Yeah. So imagine the road you're running down. Imagine all the people cheering you on. How did you feel in that moment? All those random people wanting you to win. People around you cheering you on. You feeling proud. Imagine yourself running over that finish line. I made it. I did it. I'm a winner. I've got this. Just feel that joy. Maybe put your hand on your heart right now. I did this. That was me. I love exercising. Feel that connection to how beautiful that felt and relive that moment right now. Feels nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
So one more quickly, one more. What's one more time in your life, in your past, where you really, truly felt like, oh my God, like this is something that I need to do in my life. Like this is what, can I swear?
Yeah. All for the effort.
This is who I am. Yeah, this is me. I'm someone who exercises. I love this. I need this in my life. And there's probably a moment where you'd let it lapse and then you'd gone back to it and you're like, oh my God.
That is literally the memory I was thinking about.
Well, I'm telling you right now, what was that? You're thinking to yourself, I can't believe I stopped doing this. This is so freaking good.
Yeah.
Where were you?
I used to do Bikram yoga a lot, and then I had a few years break, and then I went back to a hot yoga class, and it was amazing.
And what was there like a feeling of elation?
Yeah, just a loss of time. Like, and that's
presence.
One of the very few places where I don't feel time.
Amazing. What a beautiful experience where you completely lost time. Yeah, you're just literally in a state of flow. What a beautiful memory. Relive that now in your body. Feel it as if you were there. See what you saw. Think what you thought. Just feel it from your tips of your toes, through your knees, through your hips, through your stomach, into your heart, to your fingertips. Feel it in your throat, in your mind. Just feel it freeing you up. That state of flow and elation, and just like time does not exist. Feel how relaxing that feels. Take a deep breath in through your nose and breathing out. Now open your eyes.
Thanks, Scott.
Now,
I fogged up my glasses.
Now, I want you to think of the exercise, and I want you to say the first 3 words that come to your mind. Don't force it. Don't make it perfect. Just bang, 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 go.
That it's for me, and it's joyful, and it makes me feel incredible.
So imagine if you were in a relationship where, for instance, you didn't feel that. I truly believe that most of us are not living life through a true experience, but we're living it through the filters of these relationships. So I had a bad relationship with money. I thought money wasn't coming for me. Money's like this. My partner's a money coach, money and mindset for entrepreneurs. And it's like, she helped me with that, helped me shift the relationship that I had with it. So, and I'm constantly checking in when I say my partner's name. And right now it's like, this, that. I'm like, oh, I just said annoying. Oh, crap. Oh my God. Why? And it's because maybe she'd been doing some stuff and I haven't let go of it yet. Like maybe you've got an expectation on your exercise, for instance. As soon as you add in expectations and rules, and like I did this with my client around relationships, because I'm a relationship coach, I'm a peak performance coach. But if you want to grow your business and you're feeling like you said before, you're not feeling that strength and that certainty in your relationship, well, hey, that's a massive power block. So, my goal with my guys is not to help them make money and become millionaires, although they do. It's to create a life they love and using business as a vehicle. But the only way they can grow their business is to set up the foundations. So it's like, that's why I say it's a holistic approach of science, strategies, and support. It's like, it really does take holistic. Most of these guys, including myself, and my story was the reason why I broke up with and things didn't work out with my relationship with my ex is because I was that guy. I was growing my business and I was burnt out and I was struggling and I didn't feel rock solid and she didn't understand what I was going through and I didn't know how to communicate. And our intimacy was zilch. 3 times in 12 months. That's with a 3-week holiday to Colombia.
That should get your fires burning.
That should get it going.
Your maracas.
Now, turns out that maybe that wasn't the right relationship for me anyway. So I'm grateful, but it was through that experience I realized, geez, if I'm a coach, I've been a coach for 13 years, and if I'm a coach and I'm struggling like this, and it was horrible, surely there's so many other people that are struggling with it too. But it's just such a simple exercise. You can do the same thing with anything that you want to do. And all we did there was we got you to relive some positive memories so that at least you could see the truth of how you truly felt about exercise. Yeah. So in the same thing, someone can feel so lost. You could be, 1 or 3 years into your relationship and you love the person, you love them, but you don't feel in love anymore. Well, what's not stopping you from feeling in love is that you've got a magnetic force field that's repelling you from each other because you don't feel safe, because that time your partner told you off and you felt like they didn't care about you. Well, that you're looking through that filter at them. You're going, this is what's her name? Or let's say her name's Rose, and then you're looking through the filter of,
she's annoying.
something negative. And she's looking back at you going, he doesn't do this. And it's like, these are 2 people who absolutely love each other, potentially have an amazing partnership for 10 years or more like you guys, but just don't understand that they're looking through what I call subconscious programming, which I call is like a pair of contact lenses that you don't know that you're wearing. And so you're looking at them through that filter and you don't know it.
Yeah.
So
I think this is
exercise to check in with.
Yeah, I think that's a Tony Robbins quote, like the way that you perceive things is the way that you receive things.
Oh, I haven't heard that one, but definitely. He also said, if you want to have a great relationship in the latter years, just do what you did in the early years.
Yeah.
Makes it's like so much common sense. If you really, I think
you were dating, you were having sex all the time.
Every weekend, I was always prioritizing her. It's like, well, no wonder things were great. It's got nothing to do with
notes, text messages, good mornings.
Yeah, hey, I love you. It's so great. I'm so excited to see you this weekend. It's like, when's the last time you told your partner you're so excited to see them? It's like, if you just say and do the same things, you guys like, oh, we do it all the time.
Oh, yeah, no, just because I had a weekend away with some girlfriends 2 weeks ago. And it was like, I really can't wait to see you. I'd only been home
away for 2 nights.
2 nights. And like, I really, texting Nath, I really can't wait to see you.
And look, my partner and I, Alice, are very much like that type of doting. We just love spending time with each other. So I definitely get that as well. But we're also a normal couple as well. And we're human beings with our own problems.
Yeah.
We've got our own goals and we clash too sometimes.
Yeah.
So, Scott, thanks so much for joining us today. But before we wrap up, I just want to get one top tip from you to keep a relationship fueled up.
To keep a relationship fueled up.
Yeah.
I think one top tip. Well, I won't use rituals because we've already used that.
Yeah.
But, it could be just
one top tip I think is just really my heart's just saying, this might not be the thing that's that exciting, but vulnerability. I think the vulnerability creates connection most. I can only, speak to, I've coached both men and women. I have coached women in my partner's program as well. Before she was doing money coaching, she was doing a lot of this program called Awaken the Goddess. And, I think vulnerability opens up the gateways to have a deeper connection. And it's through that like you guys, it's going through, it's not everyone wants to go through the great times, but it's like when you can go through a tough time and feel solace, and that that's like, so whatever. So fueling up, like, there's tons of the little things that we said to like add the flavor and the fun. But at the end of the day, I think so the strength of the fuel, comes from allowing yourself to share what you truly want. And that's vulnerable. Like to say to your partner, hey, I'd like to have more sex. Or, hey, I would like, this, or, hey, I would like that in a way that is not too confronting for them, or and just I think allowing yourself to just not feel comfortable to share things. And I think you said to me at the start, like, how do you get these? A lot of people are shocked that I get these guys to do these super like spiritual or vulnerable things, but they do it. I've never had somebody, even if I'm sometimes concerned, I'm thinking, oh, they're really going to do this. I'm going to get them to do this thing. Are they really going to do it? And then they always end up doing it simply because if you can get someone out of their head and into their heart, then everyone, like if your heart knows that that's what you need to do all the time. So, yeah.
Scotty, I think that's props to you for being able to create a space and a container for people to feel safe to go there with you.
Well, and I guess I can tell you right now, the reason why I'm able to do that is because I'm so raw and vulnerable to people. I think, wow, Scott's this, seems like this confident, outgoing guy, yet in a second I'll tell somebody, like, this is what's going on right now for me. It's normal to feel these things, da-da-da-da. I have the same thoughts as you guys, and I'll share experiences. And they're like, it creates that vulnerability, has created the strength in my relationship with my clients, whether it's on the sales call or a service call, as I like to call them, or whether it's in the program. If you are vulnerable with another person, that makes them trust you, because no one's going to open up vulnerabilities, and trust creates connection. So it's like, it's just the fastest way, in my opinion, to create that strength, which then maybe it's not the short fuel that maybe I think you were probably talking about, but it's the long fuel to really fuel the long-term thing, is like, vulnerability.
Yeah, and clearly that's being mirrored back to you in your own relationship, because your partner's willing to come and tell you, hey, this doesn't feel right. And that's not necessarily an easy...
I would say that she would have done that before me. Probably that served me well, because now she's all mine. But I don't think she lacked any.
Well, her password tells us she was waiting for you.
Yeah.
Hey, so this has been so awesome. A lot of what we've talked about is, about being the change and driving your relationship to be what you want it to be, and creating the rituals and the conditions for that to thrive. But we also talk about being the change in the world, and the world that we want to be part of. So to say thank you for joining us today, we've given access to some school uniforms for a month in Cambodia. And the catch about these school uniforms is that education is free in Cambodia, but there are requirements. And one of those is that the family needs to purchase the uniform for their students, which lots of families can't afford, or often they in turn sell them because they can't afford other basic needs like food and water and shelter. So this uniform is loaded with the education. So thank you so much for making that possible.
No worries.
Yeah, and that project's looked after by Trailblazer Foundation, and has been made possible by our partnership with One.
Beautiful.
So Scotty, thanks for being on the show. If people want to connect with you or learn a little bit more about what you do, how should they do that?
The easiest way, just social media. So both Facebook and Instagram is my full name, Scott James Andrews. Scott with 2 T, so ScottJamesAndrews. Scott James Andrews on both. And you can, if you want to chat or whatever, just send me a DM. It's probably just the easiest way.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure. I had fun. It was great.
Thanks heaps for joining us. If you love what we're doing here and want more, subscribe to the Date Forever podcast to make sure you never miss an ep. Come and hang out with us and other awesome couples who are fueling up their relationships in the Thriving Couples Collective Facebook group, or check us out at fuelcollective.com.au. Until next time, keep on dating, because better relationships equal a better world.